and recording is in progress. This is Andrew Williams Jr. Thank you so much for joining us. This is Thursday, 21st of December, 2021. And this is the weekly UnityNet, actually the, excuse me, weekly International Global UnityNet Forum. And this is, I think, week 135. Our special guest today is Professor Benjamin Sango of UnityNet Kenya. He's a co-founder and executive director of an organization called L'Africana CBO in the Dagoretti area of Nairobi, Kenya. Title is Woman and Youth Alive, Enabling Social Economic Advancement by Empowering Refugees. So thank you so much, Mr. Sango, for joining us. Please take the floor, introduce your organization, yourself, and the floor is yours. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Mr. Andrew. It's my pleasure. It's my pleasure to be with you today. And before I begin, I will request the L'Africana office account to be given the access to share this screen. We have a presentation.
Yes, you do have that access.
Okay, let me see. Absolutely. Thank you. Thank you. So my name is Benjamin, as Mr. Andrew said. I'm the co-founder and the executive director of L'Africana community-based organization, Nairobi, Kenya. I'm here, I'm not alone. I'm with my colleagues, and I will like them to introduce themselves before we proceed.
Yes, no problem.
Thank you. So let's begin. Anyone from L'Africana who is in this panel, please introduce yourself.
Hello, good evening. I'm Jacqueline. I'm on gender department. I deal with gender and with a program called Go Girl. Thank you.
Thank you, Jacqueline.
Yeah, morning, everyone. My name is H.I. Keller. I'm founder of L'Africana. Now I'm in USA, Colorado State. Thank you.
Thank you, Chair. Yes.
Hello. Hello, I'm Agnes, in charge of Health and Nutrition Environment Department. And it's a privilege to be here, and I'm thankful.
Yeah. So thank you so much for another.
Hello.
Yes.
My name is Elijah Mwaura. That is from Nairobi, Kenya.
Thank you, Mr. Elijah.
Thank you, welcome.
Yeah. Okay. I think with three other members of L'Africana, two are staff and one is the founder, is among the three founders of L'Africana community-based organization. And our theme today is Women and Youth Alive. The subtitle of it is Enabling the Social Economic Advancement by Empowering Refugees in many ways. L'Africana, we believe in empowering lives, and by empowering people, we are building their future. So our slogan is care and empowerment. So a little bit of introduction of Africana, why Africana and why Africana started. So Africana is a community-based organization established with a profound commitment and refugees. Africana was founded in 2011. We are counting now 12 years of experience in serving the community, both refugees and host communities. Our mission is to empower refugees to build sustainable future by providing access to education, fostering community development, and promoting gender equality. Our vision is to create a driven community where every individual, regardless of their background, has the opportunity to reach their full potential. All of these stories and all of this amazing work done by Africana, it has started by the three legendary that we will call wazee wa kijiji ni Kiswahili. Wazee means the old man. These three old men, they came here in Kenya in 2009, whereby they were fleeing from Congo because of the fighting, the rebels, and the other things that because of the insecurity in their country. They came here in Kenya in 2009. They found themselves in a slum called La Kabiria. Kabiria, on that time, there were no hotel, no any assistance for them. No right, no one to welcome them, no one to give them anything, no one to help them, even to show them the way of how they can start their future. They started themselves by organizing themselves, Mr. Majaliwa and Simbi and Jacob. And I'm glad because one of these three legendary is with us here in this panel. He's the first one here. And Mr. Simbi, we are with him here at Nairobi, and Mr. Kombozi, Jacob, we are with them here. They started L'Africana they started L'Africana as a response to their problem and everything that they were going through. Because of the no job opportunity for them or no source of income that was allocated for them by any agency or any government of Kenya, they started to employ themselves by organizing themselves and create some small shops or some small places whereby they can practice their skills and create a sources of income. These three gentlemen, they decided to put together their sewing machines because they were tailors from Congo. So they decided to put together their sewing machines and start producing and making clothes for the community that they are serving. In that section of making clothes, they found themselves that the skills has been the only hope that they have to serve them and to help them in generating the income. They decided to make that skills to everyone, to make it open. They started teaching people about how to use the sewing machines and how to make clothes, dressmaking, pattern cutting, until once upon a time they got a chance to meet a friend from Brasilia called Renata. So Brasilia, Renata, she started with them and she started empowering them and showing them some more other skills until they created something called L'Africana clothing at that time. That was 2013. So from there, the three gentlemen, they decided to make these things, the L'Africana clothing, to become a CBO, whereby they can have access, they can have the documentation that are required, and they can serve more people. They can serve more people, and they can do, they can make more clothes and sell them outside or here in Kenya, and they will make money to pay their rent and to help others, the refugee themselves or the stateless people that they are within their community, to pay school fees, to pay rent, to assist them in medical issues, because on that time there was no support from the government or any NGOs on that time. So L'Africana closing in 2014 was the only hope that the refugees had here in Kabiria. And after all, L'Africana name was built in 2015, whereby they got the registration from the government of Kenya. L'Africana been recognized and start operating as an organization in 2015. So L'Africana organizational structure, it looks like this way. L'Africana has three committees. The first one is executive committee. The second one is the body of director, and the third one is the supporting committee. All of these committees are under one big committee which is called the General Assembly. The General Assembly is where all of these committees gather together and make the final decision of the organization. And below is the current leadership team of L'Africana, whereby everyone who is working with us currently is there. L'Africana currently is counting 18 staff on board and 13 other staff outside, indirectly worked with the L'Africana. So this is the organizational structure of how, and the executive committee is where all the activities of the organization are managed, and the staffs and everyone is there on board. And the board of director is where all the head of departments, all the heads of any activities that L'Africana is working on, they do gather together and make a decision on their level of a department itself. The supporting committee, it's a committee whereby it is chosen by the executive committee in terms of helping in case the work has been too much for the board of director. So the executive committee can decide this kind of work, we need we need other people from outside the board of director to help us in doing the work, and to help us in doing the work and make sure everything is going smoothly. So that's our organizational structure. We have here the departmental structure of L'Africana, of how L'Africana is operating today. L'Africana has 5 departments, and each of department has some activities ongoing and others they are pending. We have educational department, we have gender department, and we do training in art tailoring. We have health, nutrition, and environment, and we have the justice and child protection. It's here whereby I will request my colleagues to present some of the work that they are doing, because I brought with me here the head of health department and the head of gender and empowerment department, so that they can tell us more what they are doing and how are they doing that work, the challenges and the circumstances that they are facing, and all of those amazing work that they have done. So please allow me to invite the head of health, nutrition, and environment department to share with us what they are doing in that particular department. Agnes?
Yes, I hope you can hear me.
Clearly.
Okay, thank you. So my name is Agnes Yetanke, Lafricana staff. I am the head of Health, Nutrition, and Environment Department. So I'm going to break it down on what we actually do under my department, the ongoing activities and the outgoing activities that we've been running since the year started up to now. So if you'll allow me, I'm going to start. So under my department, we have a program that we had come up with that is called Serenity Health. So under Serenity Health, we are measuring on the major subtopics that our clients have raised their concern on needing some knowledge about certain diseases, on how to prevent certain diseases that they are facing in the community. And that is our work as health department. So the major subtopics that we've been running were communicable diseases, we have non-communicable diseases, we have community nutrition, we have sexually transmitted diseases, we have vaginal infections, we have waterborne diseases, we have airborne diseases, and we have mental health. So the ongoing activities that are running right now are community nutrition, sexually transmitted diseases, vaginal infections, and mental health. The outgoing are the rest, that is non-communicable diseases, communicable diseases, waterborne, and airborne. So Serenity Health, we come up with Serenity Health because it's viewed as a learned positive emotion of inner peace that can be sustained. It's a spiritual concept that decreases perceived stress and improves physical and emotional health. So that is how we came up with the word Serenity Health. So we have to break down the activities. So ongoing activities, we will start with community nutrition. Under community nutrition, we are currently dealing with nutritional surveillance, epidemiological studies of diet, and also the development, now the implementations that we are working on, and evaluation of dietary recommendations and goals. So community nutrition requires a population approach, rather than the individual and the focus of interest. So this area of nutrition focuses on the promotion of good health and the primary prevention of the diet-related illnesses. So the emphasis is on the maintenance of health in the whole population, although it will also including working with high-risk groups or other subgroups within the population. I hope we are together. So surveillance, under nutritional surveillance, we are looking at to identify trends of nutritional status over time, to monitor interventions, outcome, to build capacity for monitoring nutrition status of the population, and to facilitate information sharing. And under epidemiological studies, we are dealing with specificity. The causation is more likely in a very specific population. So at a specific site and diseases with no other explanation, the between the exposure and the outcome, the higher the probability of the causation. And under evaluation of dietary recommendations and goals, it provides individualized nutritional care for encouraging the modification of eating habits. And it also assists in prevention of the treatment of nutrition-related illnesses, such as cardiovascular diseases, cancer, obesity, and diabetes. So we are moving on to vaginal infections. Vaginal infections, these are infections that occur, you can even say, with the name vagina. So we're having various infections that the clients are facing in the communities. And then when they're going to the hospitals, they're being told a different thing. So we are here to give them knowledge. We are here to educate them on how to prevent them. We have yeast infections, we have bacterial vaginosis. So we are here to elaborate on the causes of the infections respectively. We are here for the long-term health consequences, the prevention methods, recommendations in terms of advising. We are telling them the symptoms and differentiating chronic and acute in terms of the disease on how it has prolonged. So under sexually transmitted diseases, you know, we are talking about herpes, we're talking about human papillomavirus. We are giving them this knowledge that they can know, you know, and we are also talking about HIV. We're also talking about gonorrhea, and we're also talking about syphilis. Over here also, we're elaborating on the causes of the diseases respectfully, preventing STDs, we are recommending them, but it can be controversial. So, and also we are dealing with symptoms of each sexually transmitted diseases, the infections that are causing the STDs, and also we are differentiating stages. Moving on, mental health. Mental health is something that is really affecting our community right now, and it's really big, and we are trying our best to deal with it through our clients and mobilizing them to bring the neighbors who haven't heard of such program that is undergoing under health department under Africana. So under mental health, we are to talk about what's normal and what's not normal, what is considered normal under mental health. Yeah, this includes patterns in thoughts, we have feelings, and we have behaviors that can suggest when to get help for yourself. Yeah, we are talking about what is mental health. We are talking about how mental health disorders are defined. We are talking about how do mental health professionals diagnose disorders. So we are coming now to the mental illnesses that they are facing. So here we're talking about symptoms, when to see a doctor, if you have suicidal thoughts, helping a loved one. Here we're talking about causes, yeah. And under causes, we are telling them that you can inherit also environmental exposures. We have the brain chemistry, yeah. We are coming to the risk factors, the complications, and the prevention. So the line between normal and abnormal mental health is often blurred. So this includes the self-esteem of the clients, the relationships that they have out there, and the resilience. Moving on, we are having, now this is the outgoing activities that have been running. So we are having non-communicable diseases. We are talking about the major types, that is mental health disorder that I've said. It's also under non-communicable diseases. We have stroke, we have diabetes, we have chronic lung cancer, lung diseases. So here we are talking about the risk factors for the non-communicable diseases, management factors for non-communicable diseases, public perception of the non-communicable diseases. We have symptoms, we have preventions and diagnoses. And even here, it's now if you call our clients and actually interrogate one or two, they'll be telling you that right now we can know that this is when you're experiencing such symptoms, it's likely that you're having such diseases. They know that non-communicable diseases do not spread each other, yeah, but typically caused by unhealthy behaviors. So we're also looking at communicable diseases. We are talking about the most, but currently we had dealt with hepatitis B because we feel like it has been neglected. We are moving on to malaria. We are moving on to hepatitis C also, and tuberculosis. And also we are creating awareness to them. We are telling them that if you think your neighbor is experiencing such, yeah, you can also come, we can educate her, we can refer her to such hospitals that can provide healthcare. So here we are still talking about the risk factors also for the communicable diseases management, public perception, symptoms prevention, and diagnosis. Those are the outgoing activities that we've been running. So challenges that we've been facing throughout the ongoing activities, we've been lacking enough resources in terms of purchasing the projectors, the laptops that actually would now help our clients to see, to visualize the images of how these things occur. You know, right now we're having a very good technology where it's just animated. It explains everything. We are lacking that. We are lacking enough space and chairs for our clients. We have large numbers of our clients who are coming for these services from us. And you know, we are squeezing them up. We are making them to feel uncomfortable. You see, and that is creating lack of concentration, but we've been really, really trying. Yeah, lack of capital to purchase some various goods for our clients who can't afford such that will aid in preventing various diseases effectively. You know, when you're telling someone you should go and observe this diet and they cannot be able to afford the diet, Now that is where the problem comes in. He or she will continue with the diet that is available for him or her, you see, and that is a challenge to us. And challenges we are facing, we had faced on the outgoing activities, still on the resources in terms of the technology, that is the projectors, the laptops. But either way, we've been really trying our best, and we appreciate whatever we have done. We are closing the year, we are closing our activities, but we are going to continue with other activities next year. So, and also nutrition, we're involving women. We're involving women who are pregnant, who are expectant, those who've had kids out of wedlock. We're also involving those adolescent girls. We're educating them on the sexually transmitted diseases. So we are really, this is the youth that are coming. These are the people that we're talking to for it now to like finish off, where like when they are growing up, they be knowing we can differentiate between this and this. We cannot do this and this because we've been taught. Yeah, we are shaping them. We are shaping them to become now the betterment, to become now the change that we want to see. We are starting from the down. We're starting from those adolescents, those youth, those teens. We are teaching them. And thank you so much for listening, and thank you so much for allowing me to like attend the meeting, and I'm so thankful. Thank you so much. Back to both.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Agnes, for the sharing. And allow me to invite the head of Gender and Empowerment Department, Mrs. Jacqueline.
Hi, good evening, all of you. I'm Jacqueline. I'm the head of Gender and Empowerment.
Can you increase the sound, please, Jacqueline? Your sound is a bit down. It is still the same, maybe.
No, we cannot hear her.
Yeah.
Hello, can you hear me?
Yes, go ahead.
Okay, good evening once again. I'm Jacqueline. I'm the head of Gender Department. Okay, in Africa as an organization, we have our ongoing project as by the name Boga. It's a project that started way early last year. And normally we call groups of women. Those are women that have been affected with especially with poverty. Some are teenagers, some are widows, and some are single mothers. But when we are having the meeting, most of the time, we normally group them according to their needs. So far, we have around 300, more than 300 groups, and which have divided in 6 communities. That is in the area called Kapiria, Kawangware, Kina Road, Dwaru, Waivaka, and Kake. And at times, we also get women all the way from outside Nairobi, because they have been invited by their friends, and we don't deny them. We encourage them to come, they learn with us, then they get more information, they spread the name of the Bluetooth. Okay, as an organization, when I run the sessions, normally I go through major topics like the rights of a woman, domestic issues, rape cases, even groups like traumas. I normally introduce them to groups like traumas that encourage them, early pregnancies, and child street children. Most of the time we see normal gender equality. This is an unfair treatment of men and women. Mostly you find the equal rights of men and women normally not the same. They have some means and opportunities which are not given to them. Most women are not given normally when it comes to discussion, it's always open discussion. They tell us whatever they're going through, and at times we learn from them and get more information from them. See, in school, at times, so the ladies, the women, they get discriminated in courses and subjects, even that always they think that subjects are best for girls, like being a nurse and secretary and physician, they're always given to girls. And like girls, they can also learn subjects like math, science, engineering, law, and others. And some even they're being discriminated in sports. Find a girl is ready to learn, or a woman is ready to learn maybe football, but being she's a lady, she's given simple activities, not aggressive activities. She's being given simple activities like badminton, table tennis, indoors. That's what I normally teach them, that it's good, at least if you're a lady, get in other activities that are aggressive, so that you can be able to you can able to teach others. During class time, most of the time, we normally interact with them so that we can reduce the poverty by empowering women economically through access to credit facilities and job opportunities. As in African, our organization, when we find maybe there's an opportunity somewhere, we call them and tell them there's an opportunity. They go there and act as volunteers, and eventually they get employed. On our side, at least we get a credit for that. Also, we learn about the rights. Their rights as women. They have rights to vote, rights for movement, choose a partner, and also the rights to love. Apart from that, we also have they should know their responsibility in the community, and they also they should know their responsibility in the community. And normally that one they take them through as a open discussion. They tell us whatever they are going through. Normally talk about them, especially young mothers, how we visit them and know how they are coping, right? How they manage their friends, and how they manage to feed their families. Single mothers also check on them physically and mentally. With that department, normally when I get through the discussion, I get someone is physically disturbed, work together with my colleagues in the health department, and she gets help from that department. Then she gives her the counseling and each and everything that she needs in that health department. And eventually she comes back and tells us she has been helped through our organization. Okay, we have topic discussions like for early pregnancies. Check on them, the level of education. If they're willing to go back, we can partners with the education department and see the way we can be able to help them. Also, we check on their way and standard of upbringing their kids. Normally, when we decreases the level of education for the kids, and also we check on their medical. We check up on their medical issues for the mother, both the mother and the child, and we also give them counseling to reduce the stigma in them, because most of the early pregnancy women, they tend to have the physical and mentally health disturbance. They cannot go well with life. For those who are maybe in drugs, I partner with my health department colleague, able to assist from there. We also have street children. These children, we get them from their mothers. Most of the time we find when the mother has come in our department, we help her, and then she tells her that she has a neighbor maybe who is the kid does not know the parents. We are able to get in touch with the street kids, follow up on their well.
We've lost the audio. Hello, Jacqueline. We can't hear you.
At all.
Let me ask for apology for that. And Jacqueline, can you hear me? Jacqueline? Oh, I'm so sorry. Maybe a network. She has left. Maybe a network. I'm so sorry. Even the sound.
Benjamin,
Yes.
The network is a digital system, which means it has to be able to recognize your digital address to work well. If most people use their devices only as phones, which is a radio signal.
Okay.
In order to get good reception on the network, you have to practice making requests with your digital address.
Okay.
So if you don't use it very often, your reception will be poor.
Wow.
So Benjamin, do you have the presentation that she was making, or do you have another presentation, or how do we proceed?
Yes, we have another presentation we haven't done yet. So allow me to invite our head of the education department to share some few activities and what we do in education, and then we'll proceed.
Okay. Hello everyone. Hope I'm audible.
Yes, you are.
Yeah.
Thank you. So I'm Rahema. I'm the head of education department in Africana, and we have a number of activities that we do as Africana to learners from the community, even to the refugee communities. Some of the activities that we do as Africana is creating collaboration with schools, whereby we come together with schools, we agree on what we can do. We as Africana and them as school, we come together and create an understanding whereby we operate in a way that our aim is to assist the learners. And we have already entered into 2 collaborations with 2 schools, and we are doing great with them. Some of the activities that we do in such collaborations is providing like learning materials like books, pens, especially in this new system of education here in Kenya. It's a bit challenging to some of the parents, so we provide learning materials, even manila papers to the learners. Another activity that we are involved in is sharing provision of food, like 50-50 with the schools. We provide some foodstuffs, like we give 50% of the food for the term. Then the school also provides 50%. So because some of the learners in such schools, they are from refugee communities and vulnerable host communities, which sometimes they can go hungry if support has not come on their way. So another activity that we are involved in is providing scholarships. That is on our individual level as an organization, whereby, as we all know, most of these big organizations, they focus on the topmost students in the country, those who have performed well in the country. So for us, what we do, we go at a grassroots level, whereby we seek out the learners whom such big organizations do not look or do not even care to look at. So we pick them because of their low grade, and we try to to encourage them to continue the learning despite the low marks that they have got in the exams, and which is doing really well to the learners in the communities. Because if not attended by such measures, we find that most learners, they reach at a certain level of education. If it is primary, they just finish primary, and if the grades are very down, they fail to go to the next level, which is secondary. But we have come in and stepped out to help such learners who did not perform well in their examinations. Also, we have some activities like learning and guidance and counseling to such learners before even we give them the opportunity to go to the next level of education. We see them together, we encourage them, telling them despite the marks they have got, despite the condition of the families, that they are not able to be taken to school like normal learners, like life has to move on. So it is really doing well. And even for the parents of such learners, like we talk to them oftenly, encouraging them, because we need them to be mentally healthy. Seeing their children at home because the low marks, sometimes parents, they get stressed, and this usually lead to mental health for them. So we as education, we talk to them a lot, and it is really giving good result on our side. Our biggest future, despite the academics and all the learning in classes, we also have some outside activities like football and dancing. So they are also part of the education, and they are really doing very well, as we already have a team, especially in football, which is doing great. It's having a lot of competition, a lot of matches, and it's really wonderful. For our future plan as education department is to have a center, an academy, whereby all the activities of the organization can be taking place that pertains to education. If it is this basic education skills like computer tailoring, like all of them, they have a center whereby if anyone want to seek us in our education department, they will have to go to that place, or even from the other department. If they have any event that require a big place, they can go to that educational center to seek such space for their whatever activity they have. So that was on my part for education. Thank you very much. If I've left anything else, I think the boss will add. Thank you. That's all.
Thank you so much, Ray, for the sharing and the amazing work that you're doing in your department. We appreciate that. So, ladies and gentlemen, in this panel, those are just some of our work that we are doing in different departments that we have. Remember, we have also justice and the child protection, whereby we do advocate for the right of the refugees, and we do advocate on the same time for the right of children. In that department, there are many activities that we are doing currently, and the pictures that you are looking at right now, it's our teams. We opened an academy, a football academy. It's called Africana Sports Center, whereby we have different ages of players, the more talented kids from the street, from one of the location which has been more affected by the uses of drugs here in Kabiria, Nairobi. And we did a research in October in that particular area, and we found the drugs are more opened for everyone in that community, regardless of the age of that of the person. So the community, the parents of these kids that we are seeing currently on your screen, their parent, either mother or father or brother or sister, both of them, they are addicted by drugs. So we decided to, we sat down as Africana and try to find a way on how we can help this community entirely, community at large. We got a report from the chief area of the community, and we decided to start implementing some activities that will protect the kids for being exposed to the drugs by their brothers and their sisters, or either their mothers. We received some cases from that community, the violence against children, the violence against the young girls who have been raped, and some of them, the mother or the parents, they are not playing their role as responsibly. So many cases in that community. And we started these initiatives of opening an academy in the same location so that the kids can be busy. The kids can be busy playing the different sports and think about their future and show them how their future looks like, than to spend more time in the street with their brothers or sisters or their parents. So those are some of the pictures that we had, and they are doing an amazing job. Some of them, we had some testimonials whereby their mothers and their parents, they are really appreciating the academy for changing the lives of their kids. The kids, they are now acting politely. They are really performing in this academically, and they are doing amazing job compared on how they were before the academy to be established. So this on the left side, they are the under 13. The under 13, the under 9 on the left side, and on the right, they are under 9 and under 13 on the other hand. So this is our tailoring class, whereby we do train people in tailoring. We decided to change our system of education. We have a school. Our school, it's an accelerated education program whereby we do help the student from the different nations. For example, here in Nairobi, here in Kenya, we are we have many students from Burundi, Congo, Rwanda, Sudan, Somali, and all of those students, they have been using, or they have been learning the system of their country. When they came here in Kenya, they found a new system whereby you'll find someone like me who was in Form 4 in my country. Because I'm in Kenya, I will be requested to resume not even Form 1, Class 8 in Kenya, so that I can get a certificate which will allow me to enter into the secondary school. So you will find that many students are discouraged. Some of them, they dropped from schools because, for example, in my culture there in Congo, you'll find when we are in primary, we do wear the shorts when we are in primary. When you are in secondary, you start wearing the trouser to show that you are grown up. You are not again a kid. So a person or a student like that one, he came there, is now a grown up, and he found here in Kenya, he have to be returned again to be a kid, or to go and wear again the shorts. So it has been a big challenge for many refugees students to drop from their schools. By then, Afrikaners decided now to create an accelerated program whereby you were supposed to take 8 years in primary school. Because of this school of Afrikaner, that 8 years will be divided into 2 years. So you will learn the entire sections and lessons of the 8 years in just 2 years and graduate. For example, we have a very nice result. For example, for the last exam of the national exam, our students, they were among the 10 top students in Kenya. So we appreciate, and that's what we are doing in AAP. To move on is our financial strategy, whereby L'Africana, we do receive, or our source of income is from, the first one is from our production, from tailoring. We do produce on our own talent. We do produce our product and sell them locally or abroad. Abroad, we have our friend who we have been with them here. They got a resettlement. For example, one of them is our founder who is here in this panel. So he's there in the USA. So we do produce here and send our products to him. And him will distribute the product to the market there in the USA. So that's our first sources of income. It comes from tailoring department, whereby we have 80 tailors in that production. And both of them, they are refugees and Kenyans. And they do produce 50 kgs of clothes, different designs per month. And we do sell them here locally or outside. And another source whereby L'Africana goes money is from grants and donations. We do receive some grant applications and we submit. We do propose some of them and they don't have to give us money. And another one is from the partnership and the collaborations from the organization that believes in our vision and in our mission. So we do spend all of those money that we got from those sources that we have in our program. For example, our tailoring department produce 80% of the resources that L'Africana is using currently. And that 80%, 60% it used into our programs. We do pay school fees for children. We do pay rent for some of the stateless and the vulnerable communities. And we do contribute wherever it's necessary to the community in implementation of all the workshops and anything that we do, where that is that's where our money comes from. The 60% of 80% from our tailoring production. And also the rest of percentage from 98, where we use them in our administration areas, whereby we have people on board. We have amazing and professional team that are doing amazing work. And we don't have salaries to pay them, but we do appreciate on what they are doing. We do appreciate them by giving them some hamper or some refreshment, some just small things that will keep them to have the same motivation of serving the community. So this is our financial outside, whereby we respect all the financial requirements at L'Africana. We do audit every month, and we do our internal control, whereby we do we make this. It's an initiative that we started after some year back. We had a collapse in our financial system, whereby we found some people, they are misusing the fund of community. And this was brought by the lack of no control to anyone in the building, including me as an executive director or my chairperson, who is also concerned with anything that L'Africana is doing. So by this body of controlling the internal controls of Africana financials, so it has the full power to controls and to make sure the fund have been used as it's supposed to be used. So the community engagement of where we do the events and the workshops and to create awareness campaign in the community, all of those things are done, and also the reserves and the contingencies that we have in case of any emergency, in the income that we receive from our production, our tailoring production. We do have some percentage that we use to put in our bank accounts to make sure maybe one day, one time, the production can end and the Africana will not stop. Well, Africana has to continue. So after all of this financial information of Africana has an initiative that is looking for fund. This is called Africana Circle. And let me request you, please, to listen to this presentation, to this short video.
And spaces the thoughts across.
Yeah. Unfortunately, that was Agnes. We'll have to come back.
Wow. So I was trying to play it on my PC, and then so let me just stop by there, because this short video, I will share it with Mr. Andrews. Maybe you can pass by if you got a time to look at what we have there and why we are suggesting Africana Circle. Africana Circle, it's initiatives whereby we do collect the refugees savings group, 100 of them, and pull them together to contribute money and lend that money to the groups. So
where is
that's
this video?
all.
Where is this video? Do you have it just you can share it to WhatsApp to Lloyd or myself? Lloyd, are you there?
Yes, hello, everybody. Sorry for coming on late today. I don't have the video. Is the video also on YouTube?
No, maybe.
Well,
maybe I can try to share it. I will share it later. I will try to share it with you. Maybe you can play it later, because I don't want to keep you much of.
Certainly. We can also perhaps assist you in getting it onto the YouTube video channel.
Yes, that should be good. So that's all that Africana is doing. And thank you for giving us this chance to share what we are doing. And we do believe that by advising, by helping, by sharing the same vision that Africana is doing, we will achieve all that Africana plans for the future of the most vulnerable community here in Nairobi. Thank you so much.
Well, perhaps again, you could briefly share at least the opening slide so that people will have a way to contact you. I think your first slide had your contact information. Is that correct? Benjamin?
Yes, it has.
Yeah, I think the first slide you shared had your contact information. Could you share that with our audience in case they want to reach you or follow up with you, please? And then we'll turn it over to Lloyd.
Absolutely. Let me share the contact in the chat.
Yes, but also we're streaming this as well. So I thought you had a slide that you could share your screen again so that our audience that's not here in the Zoom, but is in Facebook and other places, can actually see how to reach you. Do you have a slide that shows your contact information?
Okay. Let me do that now. Wow.
Hello, everybody. Again, just to apologize one more time for coming on late today. A little bit of a jet lag coming on from the travels. Ended up sleeping in today. I had wanted to get up a little earlier, but then we had a big changeover in our internet yesterday, and the whole place is all a mess, and ended up unplugging our clock beside the bed. Andrew, you're muted. It seems like you're.
Thank you. I said Lisa Nees did let us know that you may be having that challenge. But before we start with you, Lloyd, again, Benjamin, were you able to find the slide that has the showcase of your contact information? And also, there are other members of your team here, so perhaps they could show their videos and at least give our audience a wave or hello before we move on, Benjamin, but that's up to you.
Yes.
And
I'm
perhaps,
uploading it now.
yeah, and perhaps you could show your video as well, because we don't see you now. Thank you. So there are other
Benjamin, are you able to turn on?
He's working on it.
I'm working.
Okay.
So if there are other members of the team that are here that you can show your video, at least wait for our audience, we'd appreciate that. We thank and appreciate the work that you've been doing. So thank you so much, and thanks for joining us here today.
It's our pleasure.
So as always, we will be continuing. There we go.
Just a moment, Lloyd. Great, thank you so much. So that's excuse me, Lafricana Saco, and that contact information is WhatsApp plus 254-729. Well, I can't see it anymore.
381142 as the last digits.
All right, we can go back to it perhaps, and then I'll make the shift.
That's one.
There we go. So that contact information, WhatsApp is plus 254-729-381142. And the email is LAFRIKANAORG@gmail.com. So thank you so very much. I'm going to share my screen briefly, and then Lloyd, I'll turn it back over to you as I'm bookmarking our presentation today. All right, Lloyd, the ball's back in your court. Thank you so much.
Yes, hello everybody, and apologies for the late arrival coming on here today. I usually like to do an introduction for everybody, of course, to tell everybody, and so we all know what UnityNet is doing and what we are up to. We're heading into a new year, 2024. We have a number of campaigns that we are starting. So we are actually a network that's entirely on social media right now. Our intention, of course, is in the future to bring everybody from these social media siloed places on the internet, whether it's in WhatsApp or Facebook or LinkedIn, into a common place where we can have better collaboration. But what we are intending to do is what we call peace-based regenerative localization.
So do you have a presentation? So Lloyd, are you going to do a talking heads or are you going to do a presentation?
Would you do we have time? I know it's 12:15. I didn't do my introduction presentation today.
Well, the great news is that we had opportunity to have your guest make his presentation first. So now it's up to you as to whether you have time or not. Ball's in your court.
Well, I mean, this is normally what we do is opening presentation. I could go through.
Yeah, we'll do it. We can always edit it and put it. We can always reverse it later.
Yeah, okay. I guess that can work. I haven't gotten a chance to make any modifications from my previous presentation last month, but overall it should be very similar.
All right, the ball's in your court.
Okay, I'm gonna have to go to let's see, share screen. So we have a reversed presentation today for our live stream portion. So of course today is December 21st, 2023. This is week 133 of our IGU Summit. Where we are moving forward now, of course, is officially launching our Global Sister Schools program here in UnityNet. So our guest speaker today, Professor Benjamin Sango, he's from UnityNet Kenya, and he's co-founder and executive director of the organization called L'Africana, which is a CBO in Dagoretti area of Nairobi, Kenya. We did see that today. The title of the presentation, Women and Youth Alive, Enabling Socioeconomic Advancement by Empowering Refugees. So I do normally as well put in a number of links and other information about our network into the chat. I can put that in a little bit later. What I do normally at the beginning of these sessions is say as well, of course, to our friends in Africa or Al-Kibulan, Asante Sana, or thank you very much in Swahili. So I wanted to thank everybody for allowing me to introduce this network of networks we have, the Unity Network, during this weekly event, which is, of course, the Indigenous Global Unity Summit, hosted by UnityNet International, along with Andrew Networks, on behalf of the Ad Hoc International Advisory Board of Goodwill Ambassadors. And where I normally do also say Sawubona, which means I see you, I see myself in you, I see your hopes, your dreams, and your struggles. I see your ancestors as well, because interconnectedness does not end with two people who are greeting each other. It extends to include the ancestors, because all beings in Mother Nature are interconnected. There is no sense of being separate. I see myself in all beings, and therefore, if I harm other beings or Mother Nature, it translates into harming myself. So let me just do my presentation opening, which I will do. Before we start our main presentation today and the guest speaker, which of course has come on first, I do give the presentation about what is UnityNet, or our global Unity Network, which is being created by UnityNet International, which we call as a humanitarian enterprise and hybrid holistic practicum learning system management company, where we're focusing on both sustainable and regenerative development solutions, especially related to SDG 2, which is Zero Hunger, and SDG 13, which is Climate Action, where we support and promote the local delivery of open source, regenerative, climate smart infrastructure set up as life learning gardens, which we call community Unity Garden Learning Centers, where the learning centers serve two main purposes. The first being cultural celebration centers, where all our UnityNet members will be able to celebrate our diversity together, whether in person or virtually. in addition to receiving education and training in humanitarian entrepreneurship knowledge, including hard and soft skills, abilities, and competencies. So we're also leveraging a process of localizing the delivery and achievement of the global goals, so those SDGs, starting with those sustainable development solutions, but in future, regenerative development goals, RDGs, are anticipated future goals of the United Nations. So we're offering services such as community engagement events, activities delivered by our members and our partners, coordinated centrally and globally, along with the related practicum education and training delivery infrastructure established as regenerative development and humanitarian enterprise structures and solutions, where the services that we offer will allow other companies to partner with us to make money doing what they do best, while also supporting the achievement of these global goals, and in the future, the set of goals post-2030. Our systems and structures are intended to empower our female and feminist humanitarian entrepreneur members to succeed through partnerships where we seek to leave no one behind. So what we are doing is, as a network, we are not a peace organization. We leverage our peace initiatives for development of our network. Our focus, again, is on the hardware, the infrastructure used for adaptation to climate change. But if we can help achieve peace in some parts of the world, that is a bonus, a side effect that we really enjoy, although it is something that we do understand is also a necessity as a prerequisite to maintaining such infrastructure intact and functional and fit for purpose as well. So we are also not a peace education organization, although we absolutely want to use peace as a vital tool for achieving our objectives, allowing local communities to become more resilient and adapt to the changing climate. We do not deliver the actual peace education, nor even the community engagement activities. We do all of our work through these partnerships as per SDG 17 with our delivery partners for the peace education and the peace-related community engagement. At the very least, of course, here in Toronto, Canada, where I am, and many of our members are also headquartered, where other communities can choose their own local peace education partners if they like to. So what UnityNet is doing is providing the spaces, both the digital discussion forums that allow people and groups to share vital information, and in future, the physical spaces that will demonstrate infrastructure that, if designed and used properly, will allow local communities to more easily adapt and hopefully to thrive, even in a much hotter world and changed climate with potentially vastly different weather patterns. So you may be asking, do we actually want young people to learn about peace? Of course, including like peace prayer societies and peace poles, which are symbols of our gardens. But it is absolutely what we are trying to do, is deliver the education and what other organizations can do best. We can work with in partnership. So our Unity network of networks is like an empty classroom. It is a space for learning, whether it's in the digital spaces online on social media right now, or in these physical spaces in the future. So nobody can learn much of anything from an empty classroom, of course. So we are looking for educators, teachers to occupy these classrooms. So we are focused on building and demonstrating in the real world an alternative vision of actions that can be taken in our local communities. But we don't focus on solutions for instance, in the realm of climate, for reducing emissions of CO2 or other greenhouse gases in order to mitigate climate change, where that approach is, of course, being repeated by millions of people and thousands of companies. We believe, of course, it is a little bit of a lost cause in terms of climate. we are already in the point of tipping into a new realm. So getting to net zero, as they call it, seems like a great ambition, but it is not where we are focused necessarily. The climate is going to change, is changing in many places of the world. There is anticipation that it may become more and more difficult to live in these places, unless, of course, drastic efforts are made to mobilize people to create resilience, where we can start to radically change and retrofit our infrastructure so that we can begin adapting to what is going to be a new normal. So it is the next generation of young people who will have to have the skills to allow these retrofits to be done. And so this is what we are actually focused on, what we call survivability for what is coming. No matter how much we reduce emissions over the next 2 or 3 decades, there are a certain number of skills we plan on teaching young people in our Unity Garden Learning Centers, which all of the schools can use in every local community, whether in Africa or here in Canada or in Asia, through the Global Unity Network, which we call, of course, UnityNet. We're working with our delivery partners who are capable of teaching these young people how to live peacefully and in harmony with nature and each other, at least as much as possible. Where the changes that are necessary in our infrastructure that will allow humanity to adapt to the changing climate, which is a reality that is already happening in all countries, but where some of the countries are rather more affected than others, and where some other countries are much more capable of adapting. But I'm not going to go into the details right now. So normally as well, I do like to do a land acknowledgement for those who came before us on this land. So in these normal times, I would give this at the beginning, where we say we begin today by acknowledging that we walk upon the traditional territories of Indigenous peoples. We recognize their history, spirituality, culture, and stewardship of the land. We're grateful to all Indigenous groups for their commitment to protect the land and its resources, and we're committed to reconciliation, partnership, and enhanced understanding. We thank the Indigenous peoples of these lands for sharing this land with us. In our role as settlers and visitors and displaced people on this land, we share the responsibility of challenging and disrupting colonial systems that enact violence upon the land, and stand in solidarity with Indigenous peoples. We also recognize and acknowledge all of the world's Indigenous peoples as stewards of Mother Earth. And just so everybody knows, my name is Lloyd Halfley. I am the co-founder of UnityNet International, which is, as I called, or as I said earlier, a hybrid holistic practical learning system management company. We are based in Canada. We also assist with community partnership building, locally and globally, or as we like to say, locally, by leveraging the set of community engagement activities developed in partnership with the members of the Ad Hoc International Advisory Board of Goodwill Ambassadors. I'm also Chief Ecosystem Director, Program Development Director, and Sustainable Society Consultant for Energime Institute, headquartered in Manhattan, New York, a private 501(c)(3) nonprofit company that's a member of the UN Global Compact and a UN academic impact member and partner. So we started out as a virtual university, created to help empower global populations reestablish a sustainable balance with their local environments by designing and implementing projects that support a strong and diversified local economy, while integrating core sustainable technologies and infrastructure into these communities in the areas of renewable energy, high-density food growth solutions, and systems for sustainably managing local waste streams and protecting local water resources. I'm also Goodwill Ambassador for the Ad Hoc International Advisory Board of Goodwill Ambassadors and Activists, which we call AHIABGA, with a portfolio that covers Canada, La Francophonie, the Commonwealth of Nations, and Turtle Island communities, where we're seeking to empower our communities to engage with royal, Indigenous, and tribal leadership, as well as interfaith, non-governmental, academic, and business collaboratives that collectively humanity will allow us to leave no one behind as we achieve these global goals, or the SDGs at this time. So what we are doing, as I mentioned earlier, is intended to facilitate what we call peace-based regenerative localization, by helping identify and bring together all the local, regional, national, and international partners required for creating localized multi-stakeholder partnerships. We call these INAB collaborative empowerment networks, intended to empower our local regenerative development solutions provider, what we call our UnityNet Female and Feminist Humanitarian Entrepreneurs, or FFHE, in all our local communities worldwide, where we're assisting in the global transition to a globalized, responsible, productive, compassionate, collaborative, regenerative economy that aims to leave no one behind as we approach the end of these sustainable development goals that are being promoted from 2015 to 2030 by the United Nations. The purpose of UnityNet is to develop this system to localize the global goals, the SDGs currently, and in future, the RDGs, or Regenerative Development Goals. We do this by developing and assisting in the delivery of community engagement activities that can be used by communities as tools for creating the localized partnerships as per SDG 17, partnerships for the goals. I've also been establishing the various network spaces, the WhatsApp, the Facebook, the LinkedIn groups on social media for exchange and collaboration between our members, who will eventually be expected to come together locally and regionally to establish these INAB collaboratives, which is the scope of the work that we will begin here in Canada in earnest this year. This is the backbone of our network of networks. Those discussion groups, for instance, we have on WhatsApp and other places are not the core of our network. These are the INAB collaboratives. So the NGOs, the CBOs, the cooperatives, the enterprises, the governments, or any of that are not the network. We are creating the INAB collaboratives that will result from the discussions we've had for at least the past 2 years, where our purpose is to create this global to local, or what you might say local to global empowerment network for the humanitarian entrepreneurs in our local enterprises that consists of all the members of these INAB collaboratives, plus all of the members of the Global Partnership for Regenerative Development, or the GP4RD, and their allies and partners that, or any of those that we determine to be important for the purposes of delivery. The ultimate place where we want all of our members to end up, of course, as what we call our Interchange for Peace, VCN, or Virtual Collaborative Network, where all those siloed social media groups can be brought together in one single platform that will allow massive virtual collaboration for whatever projects need to be done in these local communities. So where this is the essence of what UnityNet is intending to become. While we get there, though, we'll need some significant investments in time and effort to get there. And this is what our vision and ultimate purpose will be. So, as I mentioned earlier, we need to efficiently accelerate our ability to adapt to the changing climate and energy landscapes of every local community globally. And even as the UN acknowledges, piecemealed and siloed efforts that have been made so far in the first 9 years of this journey to sustainability have been rather dismal. And in too many cases, we are further behind than we were in 2015. So what do? We look at the failure of the UN system and the approach that's being taken, not likely to be solved just by throwing more money at the problem, as they say. So there's a really smart gentleman that once said, the definition of insanity is doing the same thing over and over and expecting different results. So what we are attempting to do here is to do something quite different, to try to make an impact as best we can. Unfortunately, we don't have a lot of time left to get this whole thing going, but we will continue our efforts as best we can as a team. And I'm confident that somewhere in our network, someone is watching us will say to themselves, okay, I think these guys are ready. We will support our journey to achieve the vision that I described earlier. In the meantime, we will continue to move forward. So who is UnityNet? We are part of our purpose is to help our members establish the enterprise partnerships as well as local empowerment networks for their own local community, so they will be investment ready. Our UnityNet partners will also help our members establish their own local community-based, regional, watershed-based social enterprise if they need some assistance with that as well. Where our work is not for charitable giving, we focus on productive, regenerative, climate-smart investments, supporting people and planet holistically. The team at UnityNet International is trying to find ways to facilitate and create pathways for investors and investment funds to finance not just the regenerative projects, but also the local humanitarian enterprises run as community and watershed and ecoregion-based collaborative and cooperative humanitarian social enterprises, where the humanitarian social enterprises are intended to be built and run by our UnityNet female and feminist humanitarian entrepreneur members who will be trained to design, build, operate, and maintain the collaborative, productive community enterprises, starting with these community Unity Garden learning centers, which will also be used to teach others in the same areas using various practical learning schools and techniques. So what we are building here, all of our social structures and the network of networks, as we call it, these are intended to facilitate local cooperative enterprise development, as well as investments into people and the related regenerative infrastructure that they need in order to succeed and to thrive in a much different climate. So the point of entry we have are called peace gardens. One thing that I do like to say to our members and supporters as well is for the members of UnityNet to remember we are fighting with peace and not for it, which means using higher consciousness in achieving our objectives. We're not fighting a war with each other to save the planet. We're making peace with the planet to save ourselves, where this strategy is being delivered at the grassroots level in all our local communities, allowing us to create a shared consciousness with peacemaking more contagious than fear or war. So the UnityNet, or the unity that we're hoping to achieve within UnityNet, is what we call a global unity of community, starting with our female and feminist humanitarian entrepreneurs, our local people on the ground who are delivering the local solutions for achieving the global goals, just as the presentation today is outlining. So these SDGs, the Sustainable Development Goals, and in future RDGs post-2030, where under the UnityNet system, we are establishing these youth peace gardens in all our local communities. So we can also ensure that all people can recognize the humanity in other humans. So we also want to ensure that the next generation of young people will no longer dehumanize other human beings as lesser than, just because of their differences. So the members of the UnityNet celebrate our humanity and celebrate our diversity, where all of our diverse cultures and histories on all continents and islands globally are recognized for their contributions. This is done through the establishment of the local youth peace gardens, where each one is twinned with others around the world. So, for instance, in Canada, as we develop a network here, each one will be twinned with another in another local community. In, for instance, Africa, where we seek to bring together all human beings in common purpose to address at least these two main goals of the global goals, SDG 2, Zero Hunger, and SDG 13, Climate Action, being the two most impactful, we believe, at this time, because all humans do live on this planet we call Earth. We have no other home but this one. We are not going to be shipping billions of people to Mars. That will not happen in our lifetimes, certainly, unless we work within UnityNet through the transformation of our food systems toward regenerative and climate smart production systems, but also toward the establishment of localized supply chains, going global and local simultaneously. So our work is done by establishing the network of local, productive, regenerative, and climate smart community projects, what we call the community Unity Garden Learning Centers, established as community unity hubs and unity peace centers in all our local communities of UnityNet, and using the various open source regenerative climate smart infrastructure solutions that are built and run by the local productive cooperative humanitarian enterprises that will be managed by our female and feminist humanitarian entrepreneur members, empowered by that INAP collaborative network, where our FFHE members, by working in partnership with the existing local schools, along with our network of mentors, will learn how to build, operate, maintain, and manage these local productive community businesses and enterprises for the benefit of all stakeholders in their own local communities, always with the goal of leaving no one behind, where the stakeholder, of course, is anyone who eats, where all of us do, of course, all people. So in conclusion, overall, the purpose of UnityNet is to establish this global network of interfaith non-governmental academic and business collaboratives, the INAP collaboratives, to empower our global partnership for regenerative development, female and feminist humanitarian entrepreneur members. We'll also be tasked with establishing a global network of community Unity Garden learning centers, where hybrid exchange programs and practicum learning will be delivered by the members of UnityNet's partners to all members of the global partnership and our learning partnership for global unity. The learning programs are intended to be delivered through the Global Sister Schools program in partnership with the members of the Global Unity Network, in support of our project of the localization of the global goals, the SDGs currently, and the establishment of a localized, responsible, productive, compassionate, collaborative, regenerative economy that aims to leave no one behind. So again, I wanted to mention, there's only a few people on this call at this point, I think, but we do move forward. I want to ask everyone who is attending this call today to please also enter your full name and email into the Zoom chat window if you would like to get a certificate of attendance or COA for participating in this discussion. And as a bonus, all of our participants will also get one unique World Civility Index point or credit for your participation, which is only good for those who attend this call today, where both the certificate of attendance and the WCI credit will be sent to you by email as a PDF attachment, but only if you share your name and email on this call today in the Zoom chat window. And we'd like, of course, everybody to do so, even if you might have needed to leave early. We're hoping that you did put your contact information. So this is normally our final slide, ending the opening presentation. I do want to ask people to follow us, sign up for our UnityNet International Eventbrite notifications, so you know immediately as soon as a new event is published. As we move into 2024, the format of these IGU Summit event will change. Please also join our various Facebook, LinkedIn, and also other discussion groups on WhatsApp. They are organized by topic, so you can interact with the most relevant people in any given domain of our network. and also geographically. So this is normally where I do like to introduce our guest speaker so they can have time to do their presentation, which of course has already been done today. So this, I end my presentation in discussion. I ask again, put your email, your contact information, your name into the Zoom chat for the personalized certificate of attendance and the customized World Civility Index point. I do want to thank as well Patrick Chun from World Civility Index and the International Soft Skills Standards and Testing Organization, or IITTI. I also want to thank our guest speaker today for having made his presentation and apologize again for coming on a little bit late for the opening.
Well, during your presentation, there was a hand raised briefly. I'm not sure if that was to make a comment or a statement. So I'm going to go ahead and share our opening screen now and then turn it over to any questions and answers, and we'll wrap it up for today. Lloyd, ball's in your court.
Thanks, Andrew. And I saw very briefly that you had shared screen, but it then flipped back over to just showing everybody.
Well, that was just for editing purposes. So, you know, in the future, when we get to that point, we'll know that that's the end of the presentation per se.
Okay, all right. So thank you very much, Andrew. And again, I apologize everyone for coming on late today. It was a little bit of a transition. So if there are any additional questions or comments from any of our members that are on with us now on the tail end of our week 133 of IGU Indigenous Global Unity Summit event, please let us know if you would like to introduce yourself as well as a member of our network as we continue at the tail end of 2023, heading into Christmas now. We're hoping that our members will identify themselves as possible as somebody that would like to make their own presentation as well as we reformulate our broadcasts and attempt to become more professional, which again, apologies for not having been able to do that.
Well, if there are no further comments or questions, we're going to wrap it up for today. Thank everyone for attending. Now's again that time if you'd like to share your screen or get a goodbye photo of all of us. Now's that time. If not, we're going to wrap it up for today. So 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and Sao Paulo.